incredible hold versus these other squads. Freak, though, takes down Vitali, looks for another, but won't get it and will fall himself. So Enigma Galaxy come away from this game with a 1 single point up to 6 now. So a 2-point average for Enigma Galaxy so far feels pretty horrible. Quest get way further into this game than they have any others, and that's saying something considering we still have 12 teams alive. We see Procedure Evos off towards that central arena alongside with Reject and End Hyper. This could be a great game here for Evos and starting to get some of that points potential on board.
You'd like to see him have a good game as well. The talent that's there on this roster at times, man, feels so powerful. When it's a good sort of mix-up for them as well, when they come in playing off each other's comms very nicely, it's very fun to watch. So having a center position, having firearms in their hands as well, we'll see if they can bring the heat, if they can command respect the longer this one goes on. FaZe back on the move as well, looking to set themselves up as the smokes will be cast out bit by bit. Redface looking like he wants to try and at least have info on this, get the eyes on the situation. The engagement here, though, is pretty easy to clean up versus what remained of Inco. The engagement here, though, is pretty easy to clean up versus what remained inside of Inco. The engagement here, though, is pretty easy to clean up versus what remains inside of Inco. The engagement here, though, is pretty easy to clean up versus what remains inside of Inco. The engagement here, though, is pretty easy to clean up versus what remains inside of Inco. Where possible, but he's got to scurry off, got to reset on this one now.
Yeah, it's good potential here for them to hold out DX Xavier, right? But at the moment, it's not looking too good. Holds on the spray from quite a while, but at least does find the shots over towards Lamborghini, laying him low. Outside the circle will delay them a lot, making this very uncomfortable for the squad of DX Xavier to make it in. Procedure Evos taking shots over towards FaZe, who are currently huddled up over towards a very, very small shack at the moment. The shots even coming through from Spec here on Nasa. But Procedure Evos currently sat at 28 points in 11th place. Is a team that definitely needs to put some more on the board here. I think for Procedure Evos, they have a lot of history on this team, right? And I think a lot of Indonesian fans would be very excited to see this team go through to the PMGC Grand Finals, specifically just to be able to see the twins there on the grand stage once again. But 28 points, that won't cut the bacon just yet. They need a little bit more on board, and with this very central position they currently hold on to, this is a fantastic game to rack up some big elimination points, to rack up themselves a good amount of placement points too. You know, this should be a second, third, first place game guaranteed.
It needs to be. It needs to come to fruition in that manner. Setting themselves up nicely on this one. So can they coax it out? Can they force a big point scorer from this one? And what's going to happen here in the close quarters engagement with so many teams shoulder to shoulder, all pushing further down? As soon as that zone starts nipping at their heels as well, it will cause problems. Isn't much breathing room, so you've got to fight for what you want. Pushing in now on Reject, looking to try and swoop in and steal the compound from underneath them. The nade will aggress first. Julo ready with the shotty as well, firing off buckshot from the DBS. Meanwhile, the building is burning. Lufa waits up close. Ooh, didn't even see that one, Blank. Swings around the corner, hits him, takes him off his legs.
Hello.
Genocio turns for the back door as well. Read this fight well, Blank, but he's been peeked from the window, takes half HP off him. Just waiting now on the off angle. Tries to back nade whilst his teammates are fighting tooth and nail. Nade's going down. Who else wants a piece of this fight?
What is this? There's 3 teams on the same compound. Regioso sends out the side into the vehicle to get himself some better angles. He's fighting for his life at this point in time. Spec moves in. Hoxie's half HP, and Regioso's out on the edge. Surely he spots Junie, but he doesn't inside the smoke. And now Dukshan have another battle to get through. Need to get more players back up on their feet, but they're falling so quickly. Just Hoxie and Junie left alive. Junie, a veteran of these high-scale tournaments, but Nasa move in at the best opportune time. Will pick themselves up 9 eliminations off the back of this bad boy too. 2 players left alive, but on the southern edge, this is pretty decent stuff.
Damn,
Okay.
that was an intense fight. That one was a lot easier. That's a slay down there, as we see both of Alter Ego's last remaining members quickly packed up and swept away. Beautiful fight though on the compound, man. Even in the way that Tokyo tried to play it with rejects bouncing back and forth, right? We saw OCO, smart heads up plays at least. Even though they go down in the fight, you could see the gun skill, the mechanics there were out in full force. Nice intense compound crash though leads us into the rest of the game as FaZe again continue applying pressure. Chow's been overwhelmed, gets bitten to pieces. As actually Evos are able to steal away the final tag onto that. So getting the extra elim for their troubles. Para Jin though will be put down in the ground as he's picked off by FaZe. Now starting to make their move into the center, getting themselves closer and closer and just trying to play off whatever geometry will actually provide some sort of protection for them. And Torres, suspicious about the smokes as well, knows that there could be someone lurking, waiting to peek. And he's got contact on Star. Quick flick there, hits the head blank and shuts the man down.
Yeah, very nice little shot there and pick up from FaZe. This is a really difficult area of the map to play, honestly. You see a lot of teams play this one out. You realistically just have the tower here. There's a slight dip as we head down. It's almost unnoticeable, but it does give FaZe a significant advantage, in which case they can take shots over towards DXavier. The difficulty is the fact that so much of the western side of the circle is still in play here, that Procedure Evos have a massive advantage. Despite that, FaZe is not letting that up. And it's so surprising we're not seeing Procedure Evos take a little quick peek over towards this eastern side. See if they can pick themselves up some more eliminations. Right now, they're currently running on 12, placement point 16 elims. This is a game where you want to pump those elims up, even if it means you get yourself a second place. But I can see why they wouldn't want to give up the gas station here. But maybe just letting one player out on the loose, you know, sending to the side, find a quick pot shot over towards FaZe, because currently as a 4-player team, they have a chance to try and take down Procedure Evos in the endgame.
Big chances. Definitely
There it is.
Open opportunity for this one. The swing into the favor of Evos now, though. Nice first tag down the hill. Connection across, DX suffering from it as Luxy will be able to spray his way in. Gets the tap off that we needed to see. So the compound control still firmly in their favor, and they're starting to clear out the players that were edging closer towards them. FaZe, meanwhile, still down towards the ridge side. Mormon and Malaya playing together as they start to make their move up. Close on in. You've got a couple of angles of connection here as well. Spec being one of them as he's firing off the warning shots. And then, for Udo Alliance, there's actually a bit of a chance here to just be a fawn in the side. If you're not cleared, you're so far back down towards the ridge. As FaZe come pushing up, you could try and get stuck into it, especially if the timing works for the push down from Spec and they draw his attention. Lots of small nuances on this one, but the big focal point is just the fact that Evos are in a great position to try and command the game. Ooh, rough recovery mission there.
Very much so. Chloe just goes down. Link's fine Spec as he makes a rotate through. Procedure Evos now up to 5 eliminations, looking for a little bit more. And they have to push for more here because, you know, a 5 elimination game with a chicken dinner, it's all right. 15 elims, 15 points, sorry, total is decent. But, you know, pumping that as hard as you can here. They know they want more points. It's a very good initial nade that's sent out, but FaZe is on the back line. They're not looking to give this game up. Another amazing nade on the predict over towards G-Fan. And Redface is just sending these over and over again. Another one will take down GK first. Now just FSS left alive. And it will be Redface to stand out for this one. One knock goes over towards Luxy with the 5 eliminations on board. Nade sent over the top over towards FaZe. One of the final teams alongside with Oliolio over on Udo Alliance, looking for that second place placement point steal.
Evos, this is where you've just got to shut things down, close it out, don't let mistakes start to get out of hand. FaZe fighting tooth and nail though, bombarding down onto Misery, who's forced to hit the deck, so belly down to the ground, drops himself into the vehicle and tries to drive out of there, keep himself safe, susceptible to the shots though, but goes for the getaway. If we can see the res, FaZe will at least have a fair fight in the 2v2 in terms of the players that are currently up, but Evos are going going for their recovery as well. They want to grab Link, have some additional numbers in this battle to play with. Quick pop heal as well. Nice peek up. Beautiful damage done with the AR. Switches to the DBS and wants to go full frontal blank. He's getting in their faces.
What is going on? Already we see another knock come through with the DBS. Misery left alive, and he's taking damage here and there, able to clutch it out. But Udo Alliance, they're still in the wings here, Jackie.
Oh, skirting around the outside. Is there anything that can be done? They're low. Now would be the time to strike whilst the players are down. They're knocked. They're on their last legs. Doesn't have the full list of information that we do, though, so his decision-making will be affected by this. And this just gives more time to Evos to try and reset things. Red face now back up. He's just going to be watching, looking for the peek over. Gets the heal in as well. The longer this goes on, the more numbers you're going to have to fight against. So you do Alliance, the chance of this one being clutched now far harder. Again, falling into a position where this should be a guaranteed chicken dinner for Evos.
Man, that could have been a chicken dinner there for Udo Alliance, and Olio just need a little bit more confidence to try and go in and bruise the pride there of Procedure Evos. He's got 2 nades in hand. There's no utility on the side of Procedure Evos so far, but that might change once they start to loot some of these crates that surround and litter the battlefield. No meds available for Misery other than those stims available for him. Might go for a quick scout in the vehicle. So far this game, Luxy is absolutely putting some mega work for them. 5 eliminations so far. First initial nade sent out. After that, there is another sent over the top. A little bit of damage found, but not a lot.
Yeah, there isn't going to be too much we can really set the stage for on this one, unless somehow he was able to flip the script entirely and pull off the 1v3. That's the situation he's left himself in. So likelihood low, but potential reward very, very high here for Alliance. Just crawling his way around through the reeds right now, staying down in the ground. Luxy is jumping around, trying to get info on this, just wants to spot where exactly he is. They're playing a more fragmented system, just looking for the trade. There's the contact, it seems. Bullets being spammed into the smoke. So just a bit of a pre-fire rather than actually locating where he is just yet. Longevity on this one being played out though, Blank. Fair play to him. You've got the time to work with. You want to make it as awkward as possible. See what he can get done here.
Yeah, I mean, the mistake was made way early, and this should definitely be a Procedure Evos win. But the thing is as soon as you see the teams go down to 2 and the amount of knocks that came through in the elimination field, Olio should just be sending in, looking for elimination points where he can. Does find a little bit of damage to start things off, but that'll be all it is as Redface finishes him off in a 21-point game there for Procedure Evos, which will make them feel a lot more secure in their standing, right? But yeah, I definitely think that Olio could have got, you know, at least 2 elims off the back of that if he just tried to flush 2 of the players, maybe even a chicken dinner if he just went sooner. I think it's like I said, as soon as you see those knocks in the elimination feed, as soon as you see it drop down to 2 teams remaining, you just fly in because the result is the same either way.
No, it's very true, right? There is no worse outcome. There's nothing that's going to result in you getting less points. You're not going to be forced into a third out of nowhere. I agree with you, man. As much as it's one thing where he didn't have the full situation, we obviously have a little bit more information. Going into a fight like that where they've just had that final fight, no matter what, HP is going to be low. He was basically in a 1v1 with a half HP player, but obviously didn't have the chops on him to go for it. You can see the excitement here, though. Evos looking very vocal. Luxy telling the stories from that one as they relay some of the plays they just made. Fair play, though, for what it was, Blank. Procedure Evos playing a great game there. Had a good setup early. They were confident in the way they wanted to take the compound and played it smart. So you do love to see that.
Yeah, it's awesome to see Luxy like topping the tails in terms of damage and eliminations there. I mean, a well-revered player within PUBG Mobile Esports, just fell off massively over the past couple of years, but it looks like he has really put in the work and is returning to form, honestly. It's amazing to see because it really was that Luxy sort of was overshadowed by the likes of Ryzen and as well as Zuxi back on BTR. But look at this. Luxy's really making a stand. So he's constantly pressuring the issue, constantly trying to push for those big heights in the future, which is amazing. I'm really, really glad to see it. But again, Udo Alliance, a little bit of a throw at the end there, a little bit of a throw from Procedure Evos. They could have lost the 2 players there from FaZe, but just like Luxy, let's get back to basics with the desk.
That's right, Procedure Evos getting themselves the victory here off the back of this. We lost Jason for just a little minute, but we will hold down the fort just as Procedure Evos held down Gas Station. Looking fantastic whilst doing it here, Max.
Yep, and able to weather the storm with 2 teams pushing on their location, right, Kalaris? You had, of course, Hyper going downhill across the road, trying to go for the engage, which, of course, you are in this location. It's very easy to abuse with that third-person perspective. You can just jump, chuck the nades, get the easiest eliminations in the world onto Hyper, but then FaZe trying to go for a third party, and I really thought that was going to be the end of Procedure Evos, but it's down to Misery. He's able to clutch it up, go for the res, and get rid of the final player of Yidu Alliance. That is how you hold down a position like that. You just make sure you can use those walls to its full potential, and that's 21 points here to start off this match.
Absolutely. Oftentimes we see the Gas Station as having a little bit of a vulnerability, right? Because there is that small little gap underneath the walls. However, they did a great job of zoning people away from even having angles on that little gap. And then, as you say, blasting them with the nades as they came close. So 21 points go their way. NASA, for the most part, we thought might have a grasp on Gas Station, kind of moved a little bit to the east, but eventually just started blasting everything anyway for those south rotates. So I mean, it's a really big game for them as well.
I think it was J7 that was in a warehouse, and they had this, not in a warehouse, in the gas station, and they had this massive 4-man split, and I thought, okay, they're going to wait for the next circle, and based on where it goes, they're going to regroup normally in what I thought at the time was going to be gas station, but no, they regrouped to the eastern side, then wrap around the southern side of the river to fight Inco, which I was a bit surprised by that, Kalaris. I didn't expect them to do that. They just completely obliterate Inco. Then third-party reject that were fighting Duxan come out on top of that to get then, as you saw, 9 eliminations. It's the craziest way to get to that point, but I mean, the eliminations showed up, so I can't argue too much. They got the points they needed in this match.
No, indeed. Them alongside Xavier as well, with the amount of limbs that they were able to garner. Very important for their campaign across what is only 2 days of gameplay, with also Udo Alliance kind of making what I would say almost a surprise entry when it comes to the upper echelons of this game. Not necessarily because of the circle and how things were playing out, but they were in a very wide split to start things off, Mac, for Udo Alliance. And then I think when it gets down to that 4v1, 3v1 scenario at the end, it's very difficult for him to make that call to try and crest the hill, right? Considering the elimination.
俩人吵架，我好心劝架，有个人特别横，然后他回头一看我。
儿子见状有些不满，父亲却轻车熟路地从里面取出手鼓，示意儿子坐过来休息一下。没多久，孙支书听见狗叫后立马打过来，父亲向孙支书介绍起一旁的。
当时就老实多了，抱着这玩意儿走路上，收获的全是不可思议的眼神，特别让人骄傲。那天顺路去商场办的事，抱着这东西不方便，我一看地上有一排，放在这儿肯定丢不了。办完事出来搬着就走，旁边大哥吓一跳，这东西这么轻吗？我说泡沫的，泡沫的。大哥一低头，你他妈堵我车！我趁他叫的功夫赶紧走，转个弯碰见商场保安了，他看看我，又看看地上的石墩，然后他拿起对讲机就说有人偷石墩子。我说这是我的，看来我看弄不住他。那边人不信，问保安怎么偷的，保安说他抱着就走了。那边说他要能抱走，你就给他吧。这保安不听我说话，我挺烦。我说这是我的，我本来想丢在地上证明一下，结果手劲大了，弹出去了。他滚着朝一个大哥去了。我说大哥，你帮我拦一下。大哥真挺热心的，然后一想不对劲，噌就躲开了，他就摔地上了。他也有点过于激动了，爬起来跟我说：“那是肉体能拦下来的东西吗？”然后劫后余生般的松了口气，再然后眼睁睁看着我把那玩意儿抱了回来。大哥彻底郁闷了。后来保安给我道了歉，说主要我抱着这么奇怪的东西。
So how can I renew? I want to buy my own membership. You go to this join. You just tap on the join or click on the join button, and then the membership menu will open. You can select your tier, how you want to pay for it, and stuff like that.
制冷温度26度，风速开到2档。
布哥的姿势，女孩子超过11点不睡觉，就会开始分泌雄性激素，导致脱发、长胡子、长痘、皮肤毛孔粗大等问题。你还敢问？
But I really want to be at the house. No, they stopped. How many people? How many people? Oh no, it's the second car. No, let's go. No, it's the wrong car.
He went slow-mo for that throw. That was amazing.
The one guy behind this car.
We got the hands up.
He's still there. 35, and he's finished on the hill.
Tunica doesn't know what's going on. That's fine. Zerich is slamming down.
One behind each car.
What a weird scenario that was. Okay.
Build a wall.
Yeah.
We gotta go too.
2 boys in the back, like, we're just here. Zerich and Tunica doing everything. Zerich is like, another rotation gone wrong again. But to be fair to the Mad Bulls, I think honestly Tunica probably is a little bit stressed because he has done so much work for them. I think he's really doing well for the team, and they should be very pleased with his results because I think he's come a long way.
Do you have any money left?
Playing with the Mad Bulls, it used to be a case that he was a bit of a loose cannon on the team, always going a little bit too far away from them, but he plays much more as a good teammate now, supporting Zerich and being a great frontliner without getting too aggressive. So I've been very excited to see the development coming through from Tunica in particular.
He's looking good, man. He really is. And I think, you know, it's interesting because this entire Mad Bulls roster can definitely deliver at times. And we've always kind of
Terminator.
set that precedent that they are very
Thank you so much for the gifted membership.
It just wasn't super consistent.
Thank you.
The problem with it.
Very kind of you. Have a wonderful Friday.
The survival stage, it kind of seems like something has clicked and they've realized, you know, we really need to make sure that we're the ones making our
look at that. The zone was like, wait a minute. You
were
are here now? Then no.
Which by and large, you know, that's no easy feat. They've definitely have to put the work in. That's over the space of the 2 days
I think we can go to just the containers real quick.
We still have this last Erangel
get some
and 2 Miramars as well. So anything else Mad Bulls can find on the day, they're going to be happy with. We'll see though as we are getting back into it. Third and final Erangel then.
I have only gifting membership to others, but doesn't show me to renew mine, PG.
We'll see if they'll be coming out.
Yeah, I mean,
what does it say to your membership? Like, when does it expire?
Potentially is the last map of the day, so it's one where you could pull out some secret sauce moves on the Erangel match, especially with Group Green, this being their final match of Erangel they will be playing, so they could surprise some of these teams. Maybe we'll see what happens.
Maybe you can try when it expires.
A lot of these teams are kind of really leaning into consistency more than anything at this point in time, realizing that look, it's not easy to pick up these points, and I think for us it's just a better idea that we just keep things going
a little bit more
the way they wanted to. But Zerich actually drops over towards Nasa, but I think this is more of a case of this plane path causing this more than anything.
Did you take the MK?
This is going to be difficult, particularly with the fact that a lot of the Mad Bulls are not in close contention. Luckily, they've got 2 shotguns which are going to be extremely useful in this close range combat that they're going to get themselves into very shortly.
I know it's not a lot.
Oh no, it's the old flare.
It looks so terrifying. Watching a man in a raincoat with a blade just crouching around the corner.
Let me give you the 33 bullets, and then you have like a whopping 113.
Closer towards the Christmas
and now we gotta go.
We gotta go. See some gifts being
we gotta go.
The compound, most likely being bullets though, with those shotguns. Seems like the phones are going down.
Go. Someone using flare. Awesome.
So. We're
get in the car
on this bad boy. So cut short. Not going to be seeing any shenanigans on this one. We'll relive it, get things sorted.
Why is Eat Mubarak pinned? Because today is the day.
On the old era.
Today's the day. Yes.
I do like that. You know, it sort of felt like Mad Bulls stopped that match. They were like, we're in a horrible situation.
They used the flare here. I guess at the wooden houses on this side.
I mean, I think most teams, considering how quickly we got that rematch as well, slam of the desk.
We're still in the zone here, though.
Considering how quickly we got that rematch going through as well, most teams are pretty pleased with how that one worked out, considering how horrible that plane path was, right?
I guess I'm wrong because it's down the hill. Let's go closer.
Yeah. No, exactly. Honestly, unless we roll the dice and end up getting a critical fail again, right? It should be better. It should be better than that for most of the squads in terms of easy routes to your common drop spots. So hopefully won't be all doom and gloom for them, and shouldn't take too long to get things sorted out.
And a house, 2 cars outside.
Nice seeing some of our players on screen as well today. Like, there's not been a lot of time with.
Sometimes MK, I can't believe it. I shoot his head, get headshot. I shoot his head again, and it's like the recoil is so high. It's 10 meters above him.
And we've got
it's supposed to be so steady. It's like a crate weapon. It's two behind this house on the left side.
Yeah, very spooky.
One is first floor at the window.
No matter the length of time.
It's a little bit ridiculous. That bounces so much.
Unlimited points on the last day.
I feel like the mini is stronger than me.
That's what they need at the end of the day. I mean, realistically, we need to start getting some of these points going.
Probably
and if
3.
you need to become
I think he got the ghillie suit from the
shooting
airdrop.
out some bolts of lightning.
But then again, we're not in a zone, and neither are them, and we just rotate. We just rotate to the zone.
Oh, he has a big
Hey, I'll give
gun.
it to him, man. It's a good look, honestly.
I think he has a
It's
sniper.
a good look. This is nice, though. I have missed this.
It's-
You know,
it's only
even
2, I
seeing
think.
Quest on screen, man. You know, Al
And we're all
Haji,
outside.
the man is
discount
just so
front,
emotive
the house.
as well. Kind of wears his heart
yeah.
on his sleeve a little
It's the
bit, so
ugly
it's nice
cheese
sort of
car
getting a
again.
glimpse with the camp of
Are
Quest,
you
seeing
shooting
how
with
they're
DBS,
looking. Obviously,
really?
rough day for them, rough span of days, really, but still looking like at least the mental fortitude is there. A little bit of frustration, maybe bubbling to
This
a
is
boil.
a new airdrop.
But
Go
that
for it
could
for a
be
helmet.
used to their edge. The phase cam now on screens as well, and damn, we got the stats to back it up as well. FaZe not actually having a bad day of it, to be honest, Blank.
Wow, it looked like it was still there
Yeah, I
was some
think
smoke
for FaZe,
there.
it's been pretty decent.
I see a car at the church
from Mela
130.
earlier on. Now we're coming back for some more.
The guy with the DBS got a kill on the hill south.
Okay, I thought I was going in a different direction. We got the love heart instead. That's
I think
great.
we should
Thank
just
you very
stay here.
much.
Here's good.
For FaZe, honestly, that last game was really, really cool. I enjoyed the fact that we saw the almost 2v4 coming through. They looked pretty strong with it. There's definitely some strong players on that team. Mello and Vintoras, really, really long-standing players within the scene as well. PUBG Mobile, they've done some really good stuff
Okay.
in the past.
What? Another one?
We
Two
got Nick the
solos?
Galaxy on screen
got two
at the
solo
moment.
players?
A team that's just kind of struggled, right?
What is
And
happening?
I think that one of their major issues is they don't find enough vehicles, which feels like, you know, it feels like you're failing at the first aspect of
Do you
PUBG
see anyone?
Mobile.
Oh,
And
I
that
see one
feels
guy
bad to
200.
say, 'cause I
The guy
know
with
they're
the
a good
DBS,
team, but
200 on the
that's
hill.
like rule number one, right?
It's more like west
Get
for you
some
than
vehicles
200.
on the drop and go from there.
Oh, okay.
The way
This
to
is-
word
this
it in
is
a
not
friendly
proper.
manner is they've been very cost efficient on fuel today.
Yeah.
They've been using the you know,
It's
what's
okay.
it,
We can go to
carpool
the
lane.
church. We can go to the church. Let's go.
It's not ideal, that's for sure.
It's definitely not.
I mean, we're trying to put olive oil in the tank right now. It's not working. Let's just get
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
That's not dinosaur juice.
We have a
let's get some more vehicles. Let's get some more dinosaur juice from the ground. Let's pump it up and just get on moving, because 4 vehicles better than 1 vehicle. I don't feel like I need to say that on PMGC, but there you go. But 20 seconds before we get back into our 4th match of the day.
But not
Bit odd because again with that plane path.
1 year. This rock.
No.
How many
Calm down.
solos there are? It's crazy.
I do love the idea that they've not communicated this to Two Liquor at all. So he's just sat there like, why do they keep putting their hands
going
up?
on?
Shots from here.
It's all becoming
Yeah, he's at the rock. He's at the rock
mannequins
there.
at this point in time. These are just standing
Beautiful.
dolls for Naomi.
It's this
As
guy
well.
here.
Okay, has
Yeah,
he moved?
and the other one is
Right
west.
then. Well, let's get our seatbelts snapped in as it's time to go back to Erangel.
Has he
Last
moved
game of the
the
day
one at the rock
today.
here?
I don't
For
know.
this map, following this, we get the
Yeah.
back-to-back Miramar. So a bit of a change of pace there, a bit of a change of scenery that will be just around.
We
the
need to
corner.
focus on the
Who's
DBS
getting that
guy as
last
well.
chicken
He
dinner
was somewhere.
on
Oh yeah, I
Erangel,
see him.
though? And how's this
Yeah,
game
that's
going to
right.
go? Let's find out. Playing path,
I missed.
a little bit nicer.
Yeah, way nicer actually on this one, because I
It's
think
okay, I
whenever
don't
you get
think
that
he's in the
plane
zone.
path that moves down
Maybe it's because of
slope,
this.
right
Delivery
on the
time.
edge.
The guy from the rock is moving in his ghillie suit, but oh boy,
Especially
MK
forcing
is
a lot of teams to
crazy
drop
Oh my
jumpy.
on the military
God.
base as
Oh,
well.
the-
And if
yeah.
you do want to
What
get
he said.
towards one of your original conventional drop spots. You sort of have
It's
to
only
drop
body hits.
toward that middle third of the
I think I
playing
need
path,
4
which
body
means
hits
that
for a
more than
knockout.
likely you're
I
going to
don't
run
like
into
MK
at
too
least
much. It's
another
only
10
good
other
full
teams
auto
trying to do
close.
the same
This
thing
guy
alongside
here.
with you. So picking up some of those trash drops, trying to pick up those
My
vehicles.
guy at the rock, I
They
think
get
he's
very
barely in the
hairy
zone.
Indeed. So
But
with
he
this
is
playing
in the
path, you
zone.
can have a
Okay.
lot more
Wow.
room
All
to
right,
drop
DBS
out
guy's
when
in the
you
zone.
want to
Lucky
and kind of
you,
spread
my
yourselves
friend.
across the map.
Did he
Even
move
though
to a
it is
tree?
far off towards the western side, a lot of teams will be much
I
more
don't know,
pleased
to be
on their
honest. I was
approach.
jumping down
Nacer dropping over towards Rozok right now, alongside with
Oh, no,
the
this
Mad
guy here
Bulls. I
has
don't
a-
think they'll be
a
dropping
200
right
guy,
on
but
top of
that
them
guy,
potentially, but we'll wait and
he's
see.
the king
We
right
get
now.
another circle,
He's
very
moving up the
similar
hill,
to our
the guy in the
last
green
one,
suits.
up towards the northern side
Hit him
of the
3
map.
times again. Come. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Nice.
Oh man, 4 body hits.
Okay then. A little bit of water.
He's either at the
on
rock
that
or at
boy
the tree,
for
right?
Now, but it won't matter too much. Early doors. Looking at some of the spots though, just seeing if there's going to be any shenanigans
He's
here
gonna kill
for our
himself.
last
It's gonna be hard to
Erangel.
see
We've seen a
if he's
couple of hot
from
drops
there.
sprinkled in for good measure today, but nothing overly audacious here. The only close proximity we really see is on screens now, with Mad Balls a couple of miles
shouldn't be
away,
too- we
especially
should
with the
split
move
up.
that's coming
You go
in,
left
different
side, I don't. I
trajectories
go
for the
to the middle.
rotations. Well, you can't be doing that.
He's
If you look
smoking at the
directly
tree.
sunblock, it's
Rock
quite bad for your
300.
eyes.
He's got a blue light filter on the
That
red
means
dot,
he-
don't worry.
I don't
He's
know.
okay.
That
He's
means
okay.
nothing
He's
because he could
okay.
be at the tree. I didn't see how he threw
Worried
it.
there for a second. His retinas would be taking damage, Mike.
Oh,
Alright, I'm picking
absolutely.
up
We'll
this
be able to
guy's
see the rest of the game. Just have like the smallest pinpoint of vision towards the center.
Really realistic.
Can you go
PUBG
all the way to
Mobile.
the edge
Yeah, I've looked at
to the
sun.
top?
And I can no longer see. It's not good. Can we get a rematch, please? Rehost.
I've been flashbanged by the big orb.
What is big orb in the sky? I do not
I don't
understand.
see him.
Where has this come from?
Who is he?
Just play, try
It
to get
doesn't
in the
like
zone and
me.
play
Oh
cool.
my
He
God.
might be in the
Big
smoke. I don't
blue
know.
house,
There's no
mate.
way
Yeah.
of telling.
We'll have to
Say hello to
explain
the
what the
sun.
sun is.
I'm in the zone here. Are you in the zone?
No, but I'm on my way now.
Everybody. No.
Oh, he's not.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not. He's not.
We are going to head up towards the
awesome.
NBE Sports.
Oh, he
I don't
tricked
think
me
we're
with the
gonna see
smoke
Mobile
because
yet.
I was like,
I think
maybe he's at the
been
other
like the
tree.
main
I thought
driving force
this
of the
was a
team, though,
far
right?
throw.
Yeah,
Nice.
hit
He was
some
at the
really,
far
really good
tree.
shots recently,
Okay, GG's
but
though. Nice work.
Again, some of their rotates feel just a little bit lacking. You know, getting
Nice
caught on the edge
finish.
side quite a few
Hey,
times.
let me put down the statue.
Which doesn't feel great for them as a team, because I do think that when this team is put under pressure,
Oh,
some of their
nice damage.
rotations to try and extricate themselves from those positions become a little bit
Ooh, me?
haphazard. I think they've been fortunate on some of these other games where, for instance, they had
all
an
the MK.
opportunity on that last match.
They
to
only got
escape,
body
and
hits
they
with this.
zoomed in over
Yeah.
towards Inco. And immediately got put down by
I
them.
only
That
got
could have been a
body
much
hits
better
with this.
fight if it wasn't the fact that Becker just withstood the force of a vehicle going 60 miles per hour. Doesn't make much sense to me. FaZe, though, immediately take a knock. Zfan will move up. Mormon has only got the shotgun, but a great drop shot there will take down
Let's go
Zfan. A
again.
little bit of that greed being
Let's
punished
go,
away
let's go,
there
let's go.
in the box compound.
Some more moment with the AK. Slays from far away.
I
Throws
just
the
feel
clip
like the
back
MK
in.
shouldn't be that bouncy
So
because
we'll
it's a
hit the
crate weapon. And why does it
Gets
have
the
more
reds back
recoil
off
than an
as well.
SKS?
Meanwhile, Car Chase City.
Or
is
I
the
think
name
it's
of the
basically
game
just like
here,
the,
it
I mean, the
seems.
SLR is bad
Contact
now.
from the
It was
side, though,
way better, but now it's
baited
kind of bad.
As they pulled into
because the SKS
Quest's
was like buffed,
domain.
it's stronger. But I
Right
feel like the
now, they
SKS is
are
better
ready
than
to
MK when it
rumble.
comes to
They
single
assault
shots.
onto the close range
It's a little bit
players.
odd.
Ooh, good damage done onto the getaway
Because the
vehicle
MK
as well
is
as Al
supposed to
Haji
be really
is
good.
throwing out the bullets, and they're chasing the Quest convoy. Hard
BG,
on
can
the
someone
tail
transfer
flank.
his or
Let's see
her
if they
memberships to
can
anyone else who's
fight
not
this
interested?
one back
No.
and chase him
No,
down.
but
I mean,
if
definitely
you
the
get
points,
the
right?
membership
I mean,
by
FSS is
accident
moving
and you
straight
don't want
towards
it,
the
there's
top
no
side of
downside to
Everest.
it.
Trying to escape as quick as he can. Get his
You know
level
what I mean?
3 in hiking.
You have
done
zero
here.
obligations, no
Fahidan
nothing.
sends towards that top side, just tries to spot for
There's
him, but I don't
nothing
think
that
FFS
happens to
is
you.
going to be in this situation for too long at all. Al Haji will just be medkitting away, gets himself back up to full HP here.
That is one busy
The FaZe,
lobby.
I think they did a pretty decent
There's
job
like 10
to
people around the
sort of
Papagatti. Oh,
resume
look, there's a
operations
second
after that
Papagatti. You see
initial
it?
knock there from Zfan.
There's a second
Will be
Papagatti.
Hyper, who
Because
really
I parked
does
it in the
suffer
perfect angle.
the consequences of getting too aggressive
I parked
in
it in the
this location.
perfect
Dropping down to
angle.
just 2 players now.
DX on screens here.
we do the same thing again. I go quarry, get 3 people, and you kill the last one.
A little bit less uncontested.
But this time I don't get finished.
Fighting for common drop spots, they've been willing to actually mold themselves into less common drops.
Sankrut, thank you so much for the 50 gifted membership. 50, my man. Thank you so much for the love.
During the regulation part of the group stage with the full group green. So shows at least
that is amazing. Have an amazing Friday, Sankrut. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Right.
FS did at least get away. He's been able to run down and avoid Quest's onslaught.
Yeah.
But what have you really got left, man? The entire team off the back of that was basically split in half, right? Like, sure, they're still alive, but you're down to just 2.
Okay.
With low HP.
I don't mind rescuing you.
To work with in terms of the early loot either. You haven't had a chance to kind of pick it.
You're doing it all on your own, so I'm just like...
Rough start for them, to say the least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't even think FS even knows where he's going at this point in time. Sends up towards
when you jump out of the plane...
Of all places. Nigma Galaxy
Are you
makes their way
sitting in a
towards
Bugatti?
Rozhok. I think this is a bit of a lion's den that you don't really want to get into too early on. Easy gets taken down by FaZe.
But I have a crown. Do you have a crown?
Another point on the match here. Quest tries to come in for a little bit of retribution. Alhanji spots out, but Onzen's very ready for the same peak again. Doesn't try to go for anything fancy here, and Quest realizes it's probably just a good idea to bail out this one. Gladiators up towards the northern edge of Georgia Pod, still looting. They've got a lot of time ahead of them to make this one happen. A lot of teams that shift themselves over towards the eastern side of the map, so a lot of this western edge is quite free, and with a lot of the infighting that has happened between FaZe and Hyper as well as Quest. All these teams haven't made their initial rotates yet. Zerich spots onto Ralph from Nigma Galaxy. You got Freak on the side here, but Zerich is very quick with it, in and out of cover. Like
one guy in front of me here on the hill, right in front of me. I need to push
trying
him,
to hard commit and does pick it up. Landing the follow-up shot.
One guy at
quick pre-fire as well. So Zerich was paranoid about
statue, the airdrop. One guy statue with the grenade.
Quicker than he had anticipated for. Does go fast in the chase, but already
headshot and body hits.
Get away and avoid.
And it just wasn't good enough. One guy at the helmets, 2 at the helmets.
So give up the fight on that one. We get a cameo from Reject Tokyo as well.
No,
it seems to have done a good job of finding themselves
the one who was waiting patiently in the corner.
So rotates now
the one guy at the helmet, the one at the one at the grenade is jumping down.
So you do have a potential here where you're going to have quite a few close grouped squads actually, especially with Nassar pushing further down.
One guy in the middle at the stairs, the main building.
So room to breathe. Big split for him as well actually. Basically running a buddy system of 2 players apiece. On the bridge camp to the left, you can see Rosemary
there's
as
still
well.
so many people here. Crazy.
Some damage towards FaZe. That's another hot spot. In terms of the heat map there, Gladiators towards the top, just above Quest. Quest that seemed to be edging closer towards FaZe after hearing the dinner bell being rung.
No, I think we should go to the other warehouse with the car.
Quite a lot of teams that had a lot of these engagements happening earlier, right, Jackie? And they decided that, you know, they're not going to move across the bridges. They're going to get stuck in over towards this ridge side on the western edge. And I think that has made for a very interesting western side of the circle with a lot of these teams opting just not to push forward. Quest, I think that was a rundown over towards Alter Ego that was found there after they took a couple of pot shots. Lufa looks over towards Tulika, will find the initial shot on the DBS, backing off just slightly, now looking for Zerich, who is holding his own as best as he can here.
Felt like that one was a little bit sloppy to get the final
in front of the house, 195.
Still fighting for it, still looking to close things out. Frozen.
I had the glitch. When you jump out of the car, you can't control your character.
Ooh, look at the nade lineup on that as well. A couple seconds slower on the getaway, and he could have been eating that nade. Would have absolutely ruined him. Luckily, Mad Balls will still hold on with just one man. Frozen, the ice-cold assassin that had to let it go on that one, as he'll back off and tuck into a better angle.
The damage I'm inflicting on these people without getting a knockout.
Keeping the pressure on. So Rejects in the thick of it now, with players surrounding them from most angles here. Coops does fall back after at least playing his initial card. Going to the compound to play off his team.
Yeah, it's actually a really strong spot that Rejects able to pick themselves up there. I mean, it's not an easy one to immediately take control of.
But you have to aim at the up platform,
okay? 2 of them, immediately sprays both of them down. They'll all just be be the one player left remaining now for Quest in Fahidan.
It went way too far.
Alter Ego desperately needed those points.
He was here at the upper platform.
Now total, and I think for them, currently in 9th place, 36 points. That takes them to 40, so they're not in the worst spot in the world, but it's not great either. Let's put it that way.
You just stay here. I go more. You stay here. I go more north.
Still need to get some more points on today. Realistically, Hyper currently at 10 points total, 0 points on the game. There's a couple of these teams from Group Red that really do need to get a move on at this point in time. But this is one of the more infighty lobbies we've seen throughout the entirety of the survival stage. Yesterday was just quite dominant. A lot of smart maneuvers going around. This is very scrappy, I would say, in terms of the fighting that's been going on.
That does sum it up pretty accurately. It's been a very
I almost got the guy up.
Close quarters combat being the aggressive maneuver here from Alter Ego. Kicking the doors, running on in, and finding the pickups.
And I think at the grenade statue as well.
Stereo connection.
Oh, come on.
Quest. So they're taken down.
He's gonna grenade me.
Gladiators are close by.
丹麥藍冠軍旗大收獎，合共超過港幣價值6萬蚊獎品等緊你，仲唔立即參加？
They might have their heads a bit more screwed on, thinking about the longevity of the game rather than trying to get involved with potential dribs and drabs of elim points. Reject Tokyo still looking like they've got confidence as well. They've got a good setup in terms of the position, but they haven't really cascaded back. They've still been controlling the outer ridge here towards the hillside after not wanting to give it up when Madball's pushed in and applied a bit of pressure onto them, trying to keep control of the land they've found. Lord seems to have taken a bullet to the back of the head.
Do you remember the one I killed by the...
He's coming with the cannon. He's coming with the cannon towards you. He's coming with the cannon towards you. He's standing right next to you. Right next to you. Right next to you. Right next to you.
Already lost players. So the battle of attrition has been going on in the background. The only actual squad wipe we've seen though was Quest.
I have 4 bullets.
Yeah, it's been sort of a difficult game for a lot of teams where they've just been taking a couple of fights here and there, trying to escape from it, and you can tell that's kind of the survival stage mentality of a lot of these teams, that you start to lose an engagement, right? That's it, we'll just leave it alone. Let's get out of here as quickly as possible. And Hyper's initial fight went horribly wrong. Really,
at least he wasn't camping, so that's nice.
But for Reject, they picked themselves out a very strong spot. You're right, they're holding on the outside edge. They realized that the 3-story
still main building and the staircase.
Strength in terms of being able to spot out teams and take some shots across the way, try to weaken some of these squads, potentially even get a flush. But leaving this position also is a little bit rough for yourself, because you are surrounded by some compounds that can quite easily
I need to go down for a little bit more loot.
Disengages. So for Regiocio, probably one of the smarter players, I would say, to leave on the outside edge.
Is it the grenade statue once more?
In of his own right, can get away with maybe a quick knock and then a retreat back to the rest of the team. So I like this play from Reject so far. It's looking strong. FaZe, though, do find one of the players in Kitsune there. I think that's a bit of a misstep coming through from the Gladiators. They should have known there might be more teams coming through on this area, and just allowing Mela to immediately pick himself up. A quick and cheeky flush on towards them. The gatekeep gets shut down almost immediately.
Airdrop statue.
Guarding the edge here, though.
I think one person is still where the grenade is.
On the rotate, trying to get as far back as he can. There is still a play to be made, though, inside of the blue. If you could
still in the main building.
Mela, you could still put pressure on Meku and force him to give up the aggression on this one. He was just looking for a read and the information play. Does still stay alive with his hands firmly on the wheels.
Where are you?
He's happy to at least be breathing on this one.
I don't know if I can make it to you on the
relatively
stairs.
close as well, with even a slight push there, just looking for a read themselves, so assessing what exactly was going on ahead of them. Meanwhile, Melise looking to try and make their move over the bridge at some point here, with the zone pushing
one guy's at the wooden house, 140.
and actually setting itself up in a relatively good spot for Evos once again as well. Melise, though, will have to fight tooth and nail for this, and they go for the brutish approach, sending the vehicle in with Kishu just driving his way through straight away. There's a fight going on. FaZe are fragging blank. They found their way through all of the Gladiators in seconds there.
Wow.
Mate, again, this is Mela
why
just
do people
absolutely
play like that?
killing it today. And I mean, we saw that on that last game, almost the 2v4.
That's the reason why the player count is always so low, because they just jump back to die once more.
Just as easily
let's go
in the
Milta,
mid game as he can in the late game. So really heads-up play there coming through from Mela.
You got him
I
second time.
don't know how that just occurred, but with the DBS, that guy is absolutely kingly. And I think that's going to bring Gladiators back down to earth once once again.
I think we're gonna make it.
Maybe
we're gonna
one
make
or two more good games for them to see them feeling a little bit safer into
they
the
should just
lobby
play
at the end of the
TDM if
day.
they want to go
59
fight and then
points
die
is
and fight
pretty
again.
decent. And with the amount of teams
Alright,
that are currently
wow,
sat
what
down
have I
towards
missed?
18,
Abhishek with the
17
5
points total.
gifted
There's a
Thesaurus
chance for
PG
this team. There's
memberships.
still a chance,
Appreciate it,
but
Abhishek.
that does not look
Have
promising.
an
For
amazing
FaZe, on the other
day.
hand,
Thank
they've
you
had some
for the
pretty
love
cool
and the
standouts
support.
today. Not
Ripley
always
with
been
the
able to get
5
all their
gifted
players towards
memberships
that end
as
game,
well.
but
Thank you so
at
much
least
for
some
that.
eliminations every single time. They're already up to
Means
30
a lot to me,
points
the
on
love
their
for the
first day.
YouTube
It's good to
streams.
see.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.
The
It is
guy
nice
here
for
hasn't
them.
been activated.
Big game. Even if they go out
But
now,
we can go
he's
straight
still
to
been able to
Milton
What do you mean,
do a
the
lot
guy?
in terms of the elims
William.
and the other chicken dinners
William.
they've taken.
William,
More to
yeah.
be done for
Now,
FaZe
one
as
day
well,
you
of
remember
course.
his name, one day you
This
call
isn't
him
the
Bear.
end of their run. They'll still have
Well,
tomorrow
because
to
William is a
come back
bear.
out swinging up against Group Yellow and see what they
There
can
were
do
cute ears.
there. Fight continues on now,
Nice.
though, with Frozen being really close in terms of the positioning. You were thinking maybe there was chance for the fight there. We'll join that again, though, once things kick off. For now, you've got the rotate on screens, and Melise still trying to make their move. Trapped under the bridge here, as CEO later wants them to pay the toll. He is trying to defend this, it seems. DBS in the hands. Close quarters engagement up against the SMG, just peppered instantly. Overwhelmed there and crumbles because of it. So the remaining members of Melise are expired, and Inco could potentially throw a party from there. Had a read on the hill, but don't aggress down.
Maybe I didn't think that through with the
Yeah,
zone
for
and
Inco,
Milton.
it's a
We probably
little
should
bit
go
of a
to
difficult
Pochinki.
scenario for them, but they're able to hold on to it. Not bad at all.
You want
DXavier
M249
continue
or
on. I think this has been
M62?
one of the more consistent teams from our lobby so
I have
far.
Uzi and
Inco moving over
UMP for
towards
now. You can have
NASA, over towards Spec at the moment. A little bit of a difficult position to be playing into. Doesn't really have to
But if
support
you're
his
dropping the
teammates. But a nice
45s
first
off
initial
the
spray
map.
down. Everyone's
Yes,
just trying to get the
I've dropped him
DBS
in
on
that
the roof,
car.
but he doesn't care. The Vector will do the trick.
Thanks. Chinks.
Oh, he cuts his way
Let's
through
go
the
to
first.
Pochinki.
Looking
I
to
thought Milta
re-aggress
still in
here
the
as
zone for
well.
some reason.
Bullets going down, detonations inside of the building.
car moving in front
Xenos
of
looking
us,
for the
UAZ.
wide swing close up through the window, spots
Think they
another
switched
Inco
cars.
man, but he's been
They're
punished
picking
from the
up one guy.
side
They're
himself.
running over one guy.
Down on the floor now. Spec
Yeah,
as well.
let's go run him
Eats the
over.
nade. Perfect bounce on that. Beautiful
It's
use
so
of the
evil.
angle
Why
as
would
it
you do
ricochets
that?
off of the wall and takes the man
Cut,
down.
we get the
Both
kill.
of them playing medic,
You
looking
wanna
to
run
get the
someone
reses
over who
in
got
and
run
reset on
over?
the fight.
I
Doors
wanna run
wide
so-
open,
yeah.
head taken clean off
Wanna
as
move
Squash.
twice.
He goes out of the situation. Star comes sprinting in, and this
There he
fight
is.
keeps on going.
Oh,
Mate,
man.
there's no point in the occurred
And
to
this
Spec
guy
to
who
just
ran him
use the
over
first
is probably
aid
like,
kit.
where's
He's
the
not doing
kill?
at
Exactly.
all. Like, what was
Yeah.
he doing jumping
Who
down with
revived
10
that
HP? It
non-player?
didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And with that, Nenabete might be able to finish up a lot of
Oh,
these
wow.
players coming through from NASA. A total misplay, in my opinion,
Oh,
from
wow.
what was an incredible opening fight there
That was
from
evil.
Spec himself. Nenabete able to clutch this out. It's basically all down
He
to the
was
fact that you
already
just
down.
don't use the utility that's on side. There was more than enough time
already
and chance
down
to
on his
use
knees,
it. Just the
asking
aggression
for
there was a
mercy,
little bit
and I was
silly, in
like,
my opinion.
no, 'cause I'm the
Reject
one with the
still
crown
pushing onwards.
on
Currently
my
at the
big
34
brain.
points,
So I
37 if
said,
you add
no.
the eliminations on. And I think you know what?
And
They've
we
had
ran
a
him
decent
over
day
in
today.
style with
They've been
this
really trying to
Bugatti,
hit those
so
numbers
he's
where they
welcome.
can. They understand that time is wearing thin for them too.
Better than that UAZ. Oh my goodness.
Skill.
And the gap
Jet
between DX
guy
is
jetting
closing
to the
as
barn.
well. Similar sort of story for
One
Rejects,
person.
it seems, as they go
I don't
for
see
the
the jet
swoop in
But
and
I
look to
do
command
need to heal.
respect
He made it
here
to
in
the
the
house as
compound
well.
clash.
Yeah, yeah.
Zara,
but it
the
needs to heal.
bicep man, hits the first as Link goes down. Lufa again aggresses onto Misery, and one by one, Evos are becoming extinct as they are falling out of the server quite quickly. Luxy, though, wants to try and save face. Nades thrown in. Nice tag onto the first. Has the
Half of
DBS
Pochinki
as
is
well.
still
He
in.
could clean
A third
out
of Pochinki
the
is
building
still
here,
in.
Blank, if he can
A
find his
quarter of
way in.
Pochinki
Nice
is definitely in
nade
the
to at
zone.
least defend. Smoke canisters go
On
up as
second
well.
thought, a
Blocks the
fraction of
pathing and the
Pochinki
eye
is in the
line,
zone.
but could be exposed to Coops and Co.
Yeah.
from the back. So
Teeny
Rejects have
tiny.
taken command of the gas station for now.
I guess
That was
so.
I'm gonna
definitely a
bring the car
deluxe
so we
grenade
don't
if
have
I've
to
ever
come
seen
back
one. Nade over the top from Regiosio. bounces. Actually just airburst a bit too early there for him. Looks to send another one over the top. Has a general idea of where he is. Great nade from Rage Yosio. Will finish it off, and Pazija Evos goes down. Now remember, this is the position where Pazija Evos won the game from last match. And I think for Reject, they understand that. They're like, look, we'll take it off your hands, no problem. Quick push in, picks up a lot of eliminations off the back of some really nice shots with the DBS. And that's confidence we wanted to see from Reject a lot earlier on. For Udo Alliance, it's starting to get a bit better for them each and every single game. You know, their averages aren't looking too bad at all. Currently 5 points per game. Yes, it's not championship level of averages, but for some of the teams who really have not done that at all, I would say this is a promising start for Udo Alliance.
I have 2.
So you have 7.
They've not been looking too bad in some of the fights they've been able to find themselves in today. We've seen some smart decision making.
I had only 2, but I picked up 5, and I can say yes to what you
in terms
said.
of stock, low in terms of manpower. So you do Alliance, pretty good job of at least being a thorn in the side of some other teams. What can they get done here, though? In potentially a position where, you know, there is a chance you could chalk this one up as a W, as a chicken dinner, if you play
I have AKM and M249 now.
Frozen, still just trying to keep his attention drawn in the direction of Reject Tokyo. Rejects that are now getting themselves situated inside of the vehicles, driving seats at the ready, and start to set their focus on the new.
I'm cool with the red zone.
Everyone's going to want to move their way forward now. You do Alliance with a good spread of it as well.
Thank you so much for the $3. Appreciate it.
MBE
have an amazing day.
Thank you. Snipe with a mini 14, firing off the warning shots, makes his presence known, but no actual connection. And he has given an inkling across the Udo as well of his position now.
Sorry. Oh my god.
Yeah, Cluck here off in the distance. Your Udo Alliance currently at those 5 eliminations found so far on Smart. Could you go even a little bit further?
You want the first aid kit
Talking
back?
about 4 seconds on that mini 14, hitting some nice shots. Nedabete in the meantime takes his chances on the rotate while everyone is a little bit distracted. Will be able to get himself to fairly defensible position as well over on this side. MBE Sports off in the distance, very, very close to him. Udo Alliance is trying to take him down, but it is Olio to spot that one out. Once again, we see Udo Alliance in this situation where they potentially can take the chicken dinner on this game. They came second on that last match so far. Some very nice little averages.
We can go to this place.
Reject will send in over towards Coops, last player remaining. Good initial grenade, but just overwhelming force here from Reject.
Let's move with that one.
Swoop in like an aggressive seagull at the boardwalk, just wanting to steal away the set.
Oh my god, I'm just following you and I know the card here.
Instantly.
Look at my backpack.
Oh yeah,
good spread for a good setup in terms of the positioning to maybe get a few shots off here on Reject Tokyo.
Let's go.
And they're the ones that want a gun for the longevity.
BG, you missed my super chat. I did.
With 4 players alive. For Mapples, it is just Frozen. And keep in mind, Frozen's team, they were picked off by Rejects quite some time ago. He was hoping to get revenge, but he'll find nothing for his troubles.
The thing is, alright, let me explain how this is even possible. The thing is, because I put the trap where I think people would go, I drive where I think people would go because I am people, and that's why I always get hit by my own traps.
Where they start to rev their engines for the dive.
Yeah, looking to move in towards that.
It's because I should not think like how other people would do this, because then I think how I would do it, and that's my mistake. So I have to think like other people would not do it, and then do that, and then I will not go there because I don't do that, and then I would not have hit my own trap. But I am people, and that's why it went real fast. And I did miss you, Ghoul. Thank you so much. Eid Mubarak to all. Big fan. Thank you for the 10 dirham. Eid Mubarak.
More and more shots keep
have an
pouring over
amazing
their
day.
way. MBE
Thank you
Sports
so
and
much.
Mondo up front with 1 nade left remaining, but fully kitted out here with the
There's also an
MG3.
old airdrop right in front with the Bucky. It's complimentary.
Oh.
Quick looting. Quick
Lovely.
reset.
And level 300.
Everyone waiting for the right strike, the right moment
Oh,
to
someone
stick
told
no, it's a
themselves
flare.
into the action.
Someone-
The
I thought
it was
aggression
an
works
old
well for the
airdrop.
first connection. Bullets downrange
Is
on
that
MBE.
karma? No, it's
Well,
not.
Spoiling their numbers for
It's
now,
a logical
forcing one of the players
fallacy,
into a
right?
knock. and leaving them with a decision to make.
There's a
No real quick move to get Modo back up. So you're probably going to have to give up the goose on him, fragmenting their numbers even more. And this setup from Yudu is still looking so powerful.
It's like when you play poker and you think your opponent has a certain set of cards, and then you think how you would think how they think, but they think how they think and not how you think they would think, right? Because they're not you, but then you play against yourself and then you lose.
And all they've got to do is hold. Everyone else sitting on the edge of the
go
rim
all
as
in
well, not wanting to push
all the time.
yet.
Before you even see the cards, you just all in all the time. And it's just
in the works for them. But with how they're playing at the minute, like, this is
either you win or you
lose.
lose, 50% chance.
Yeah, pretty much this was one of the circles that Reject likely was hoping for as well, because
the next one
Olio
is
on
awesome.
this spot had to be pushed out of it before stage 8. Realistically, this is a
looted
very early way to end the game
fast.
in stage 7, having 3 teams at stage 6. Almost unheard of. This game was extremely quick in terms of play. For Reject, though, they know they need to get further into the circle. They need to regroup Regiosio as well as Sara. But this circle does assist them. Getting Olio off from that rooftop gives them a much more even chance here, much more even footing. The fact that he's able to take pot shots downwards provides so much information all the time towards the rest of his teammates. It's causing so much problems. He's finally off it now, and Reject might be starting to think about when they want to move off towards the rest of the squad.
So we can go to my place. There's a car here. Abandoned.
Sniper shots whizzing
There's
by.
There's a buggy here.
Like
Abandoned.
There's a
team
suspicious... No,
they
no,
assist their mate. A few pot shots back over.
Another buggy.
That's Regiosio who's just taking the peek from behind the
'cause we
tree,
don't need
hoping that
any.
he can, if not deal damage, at least start to dent the confidence.
Oh,
so
Corey
Alliance
people are
can't
just
peek
living the
into
dream
this
right now.
so easily. They've still got such a good setup though, and this could be absolutely fantastic. They thought they had the lineup with a nade. No real response to it though. Not actually turning onto this one. They just leave themselves laying there in the open. Can't really retaliate too easily. And they're just being farmed blank. The nades go in again for the easy cleanup. And they're taken out of commission. Wiped off the face of the battleground there. Leaving it into the final fight then.
Yeah, 3v4 now, and I think for Yudu Alliance, honestly, when you're in that situation and you are MBE Sports, you just have to hope that he only has 2 grenades and you can withstand 2. Unfortunately for them, Olio had been sent forward with a blinding 7 in the back pocket. The circle moves over towards the north side, and Reject's going to have to play a very, very tough game. They've got no more smokes remaining either, so getting up will require them to get at least a knock. Lufa's not able to make it happen. Now just 2 players left alive versus Yudu's 4, and they're going to send in on the approach. Is this going to be their downfall, or will this be where they win? Olio continues to send in some massive nades. He's been so important this entire game. The nade goes off, Reject will go out, and Yudu Alliance, despite only getting the second that last game, Olio not going in for the 1v1 definitely makes up for things here on this Arango.
200 at the
You do take those wins, Blank, as they're pulling off another one. Coming out swinging here. You're going to be happy with that. You're going to be in a position now where things are looking a lot better already. They were a team that today looked like they were kind of nipping at heels and at least keeping themselves in a good position. Now it actually seems comparable to think, you know, if they can maintain this, Blank, for their day 2 tomorrow as well, alongside potentially the next 2 games we have coming up, then Alliance are actually in a much better position than it felt like potentially they were going to be coming into this. So looking good in the survival stage right now, taking to it quite comfortably.
Yeah, it's a really nice jump up from them as well off the back of that game. I mean, Olio again, 1,088 damage done, only 84 damage received. I think their set on that was very nice as well. Towards the northern side, they had, I think it was...
Probably where the trenches are. But as long as we're still in the zone here, I don't even want to move.
That entire time. I think they had really good control over both Reject and MBE Sports, not allowing either of those teams any breathing room whatsoever. And that came with an aggressive hold, right? You know, they had to have the big split
sending
going
love to you and beautiful Miss
But yeah, really impressive from Yudu Alliance.
Thank you.
And I think Olio will be certainly pleased because sort of gave himself up a chicken dinner last game, even though he didn't know it. This time around, definitely secures that chicken dinner. In the meantime, secure your seatbelts because we're heading back over to the desk.
They're still fighting. What? How?
All right, seatbelts are secured here. I don't know what sound that was, but we are back with Yudu Alliance. Get themselves a big victory, honestly, and a pretty needed victory. We have to keep in mind that during this entire day, this is technically the easiest group for
went inside the
Red to go
place
up against, considering
here.
the point discrepancy
The car's just
we heard from
exactly
Max at the
the
start of the day
marker.
between yellow and green. So they need to collect every single point
in
they
the
possibly
zone for
can.
now.
And Olio this time kind of redeeming himself.
I think
as we
it
heard
was
the captain
only
say from our
one
prior
person.
match, Max.
Yeah, really happy with UD Alliance getting himself that split. Of course, the circle not ending towards that kind of gas station location, so forcing teams like Reject to leave it.
The
And when you
airdrop
have
landed
that
for the guys
four-man split pretty much,
southeast
Jason, there's
or?
not much you can really do.
He's
And
at the
you're just very
exit of that
predictable
little
behind that pylon. You
arsenal
just,
place.
the moment you try and peek your head
We have
around the
to go
corner,
to
you're
the
going to get
place.
completely
Yeah, but we go
wrecked.
here
So
to the
24 points on this one for UD
I'm
Alliance.
surprised
Great
nobody
match,
was
and also
behind us
played
from like
over
north,
1,000 damage,
northwest.
Kalaris. Really
Wow,
cool.
this guy actually hit me.
Wow, there you go. That's the sound for that one.
Thank you.
Even though
I
we've not
wanted
really
that.
properly seen
It's
it.
the one
Yeah,
from
they
the
were
Arsenal
laughing
shooting.
together after that victory because they were like,
But we have to go to the
we've seen this
trenches.
circle before, and we got to
Why
adapt
do I
from the
have-
previous game whilst doing it. I mean,
Oh,
they were holding strong
never
up in the
mind.
north,
Okay.
right? Like they controlled
We're
so
taking the
much
bike
room
still?
with this to be able to then head south that I think they actually really did,
Yeah.
no joke, take
From-
learnings from the previous game and apply them here.
I mean, they dropped Northern Stolver, right? No one is going to be on this game, in this lobby, stopping that kind of rotation. No one is in between their drop location and the spot where that game ends, so it's not going to be happening in 1,000 years.
Oh,
And yeah,
no.
Leo, sure he was able to confirm that
Sorry.
game earlier on match number 3, but here he's able to just survive with his team and get things done. So happy about that one, though. If I want to take the conversation another way, Kalaris, is Reject knew how strong this time around the Procedure Evo's gas station actually was. Like,
Oh,
how
there's a
about
car here.
we crash it just like 5 minutes
Right.
earlier in this match and maybe win the
Where
game?
is it?
Yeah, good idea.
Right in front of us.
Yeah, and they
southwest.
hit it with severity as well, right? Like they absolutely
Oh my
barreled
God,
into that
the
position
ugliest car
and
in
really
the
gave
world.
Procedure no
But you
time
see it,
to
right?
be able to react to said
Yeah, of
attack
course. I
here.
don't
So
see
for
anything but
Reject,
that
I
car now.
love the decisive nature of that. I love just
Okay.
the very, very small window you're giving your opponents to be able to react to an assault oncoming here from the Japanese team.
One in front of
Real
me.
quick, as we see in
Very close.
21st place Quest, they have only 2 matches left to go before they're done
Just at the
in
tree
the
next to me.
entire survival stage.
Bye-bye.
If they want to have any sort of chance,
No, but
they
don't come
have
here.
to
He has
win
the
these
better
last 2
position.
games.
Don't
Otherwise,
come to
that's
me.
going
He
to
has
be
the
one of
better
our
position.
teams confirmed going to be out. But Nick Galaxy
Too
and
late.
Max, 24th place. They
He's in the
have not been
shack. I
able to
have
get
no
anything
rules
going
at
so
all.
far.
Oh, we
I
went
think
inside the
that
shack.
Jackie and Blank were talking about it in the
Okay, nice,
games,
nice,
and I did
nice.
come
I
up
meant
with
like
that,
don't come
kind
to
of
my
conclusion
direction because then
myself
he's gonna
also,
shoot
is
you. But
that
nice
they're
flank.
just struggling to get cars, and because of that, you're very vulnerable to teams that are going to be on your path to the circle.
all
And
he
that's
has-
just been
Cruiser, I
happening
think.
so many
All
times.
he
With
has to
Enigma
do is
Galaxy
wait
losing
there.
Coops, losing Lord, losing Freak, and then
Oh,
you just don't
footsteps
have
on
the
me?
players to really compete
He's
for
not
that
moving
possible
at
win. So,
oil.
yeah, they got to get more
He
cars.
scared
Really, it's
me.
as
Oh my
easy as
God.
that right now. I know I'm making it seem
Right
very easy, but
here.
if they get
Like-
It's the
2,
driver of the
3
ugly
cars,
car.
4 cars if possible, you're instantly taking way smaller risks
Oh, man.
while you're trying to get to a good POI.
I see someone
in the
running
circle.
245.
I do want to give a special shout out to two
Coming
also
to the
different
airdrop.
players we haven't really touched on just yet. Spectre Master coming in
man.
massive on top of that building when we
I need
saw
to heal.
Inko crash
He
on top of
was
them.
here
Somehow with
behind
the
the airdrop.
Vector, he was able to just hold on.
Yeah, I saw
But
that.
then
Oh, I got
eventually
him,
on the
I
other
got him.
side, able to
I
pull
can
his
still
teams
see
out
you
and
behind the
save his
tree.
team. Well, save himself at least and get the wipe onto Nasser. That was
You
just
are
a
not
really cool little
safe.
battle between those 2 individual players.
Yeah, some good knocks from Red Tails to
I'm
kind
in
of
the
finish
zone
things
here.
off. And again, cooking grenades to be
Are
able
they
to
under
just
it?
throw
Yeah, they're
them
under
at the
attack by
exact right
a
time
second
can really cause
person. You see
a lot
that?
of problems
250?
for his opponents here.
Yeah, someone's
Yeah,
shooting
I
you
should
in the
Doing
back.
something that was very interesting is he was faking
Yeah,
nade
behind
kill
that
or
tree he is.
nades also during this entire match.
Be
He was just
careful.
like taking the pin out and actually just doing the audio cue, and that was kind of scaring the opposite side to go for the res, and because of that he was able to just make them linger as a solo and then win the fight. So it's very small details like that, but Ninevich, as an individual, we also saw it last year in PMGC, right, has the chops to be one of the best players in this lobby, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's great to see him as well come back into his own when we first saw him come into the scene back in B4 over like 2-3 years ago when I was actually working on it a little bit more consistently. But guys, we are going to be heading to a short break shortly, but before then, going to remind you guys once again about the Infinix GT10 Pro. You guys can pick this up. It's born for professional esports players, and you guys can dominate the lobby while doing so. Not to mention, you can play in the new Frost Festival now out in PUBG Mobile. You guys can get into this frosty adventure, pick it up and play, and potentially create some snowmen yourself. We also do have the popular annual gala kicking off between the November 15th over till December 15th, where you guys can play in 10 1v1 matches, potentially get some exclusive rewards that you can show off for yourself. And while you're showing those off, you can show off your new Pagani as well with the Zonda R model coming to this, and the Amola. You guys can run over your enemies, and hopefully for Nimba Galaxy's sake, they can pick some of these up and survive and stay alive and get into the later stages where they can potentially use their victory dance and show off that they are their own favorite team in PMGC. We're going to head to a short break while we get things ready to go for our first of 2 matches on Miramar, and we'll see you all in just a short few.
And we are moving into Miramar. Two of them back-to-back to be precise to finish off the second day of the survival stage. And Blank, it has been a bit of a journey we've already been on, mate. The Eren girls, the initial Sandhawk as well, all of them have had a bit of a different flavour. I wonder what's going to be sort of, you know, the taste left in our mouths after these Miramar games.
Yeah, well, I mean, man, I don't know. It might be a sour taste, might be a bitter taste for some of these teams, might be a very sweet and delicious taste for some of these teams towards that top side, feeling very comfortable, feeling very safe. For UDO Alliance, that is a really comfortable game on that last one. I think that Max and Clive mentioned it. Look, it was just the same circle from before, and they have a very easy and very nice little crossing down towards that position. And they essentially just played it how they would have wanted to play it that last time around. So really, really well done to both of them. And I think for, honestly, Reject, they'll be happy with a third place on that one, a second place on that one, get some good points on the board overall, which they desperately needed, right? And I think that consistently today, Reject's been doing pretty well. And I think tomorrow we'll see some of those teams from Group Red try and hit some higher numbers as well on that chase. Again, today we will be setting that benchmark, at least for some of those teams with Group Green leaving us. And I think that's the most important thing for a lot of these squads to be taking a look at the end of the day, is where that 16th place lies. Currently, it is with Maliz Esports at 25 points.
Okay, then. What are things going to be looking like in terms of the points after this first Miramar? What drastic changes are we going to be seeing? All big questions that will have a large influence on the overall standings, but we'll find out as we kick it off. The plane has taken off and we're flying over Miramar. If you take a look out of your left window, you'll see water treatment. If you take a look out of your right window, you'll see power grid. Please keep your arms and legs inside of the plane at all time. Now I'll pass you over to your captain, Blank.
It is me, and also disregard that last comment about keeping your legs and arms in the plane at all times. At some point, we are going to be tossing you out because you're going to have to get into this match, gain yourself a couple of these points at the moment, because this is not a safe run from us. It's going to be quick, dirty, and it's going to be fierce going into this Miramar. This is our first of two before Group Green will end their run here in the survival stage and see just how many points that they have been able to put up and get in. Currently, Quest is one of the teams very much in danger at this point in time. Currently played 10 matches with a measly 17 points, currently in 21st place. It is going to take a gargantuan effort from them in these last two matches, and quite honestly, I just don't think it's possible, and this might be one of our first teams to be confirmed gone over in that bottom 8 of the lobby for the survival stage. They will not be making it through to last chance unless something absolutely insane can happen here on these last two Miramars, which I just don't think is going to happen.
No, it would have to be miraculous. Not quite sure if it'll be going that way. We did have Maxman coming in with the hot drop breakdown as well. He gave us a quick lay of the land of the potential positions and clashes that we could be seeing. DX versus MBEs was one of them in El Pozo, and then the other potential that doesn't seem like it's happened was FaZe versus Evos as well. Max had been taking a look over the VODs. So he had basically came to the description, Blank, that we might be seeing those as the common drop spots. At least this time, it seems like some of the teams have got their heads screwed on and haven't wanted to run the risk of a hot drop this late into the day of competition, especially with some of them actually having a good day of it as well, like for Evos, right? Running the risk of that, not going to be ideal. Not the best playing path for it either as well. So that's why we've avoided that one. But honestly, probably for the best, mate. These hot drops are getting a little bit too warm, Blank. It's like being in a sauna, but but you don't really want to be in there. You thought it was an ice room.
Yeah, it's currently 1 a.m. The janitor locked the door. You're stuck in there. They've turned off the lights. It's a horrible experience overall. You're sweating. You're not sure what's going to happen. You're just going to have to wait it out and move out of the old sauna in the morning looking a little bit mummified. But in the meantime, we'll keep you guys nice and cozy at least. And we'll be there with the keys in the morning around about 7 a.m. because I don't wake up too early. But looking at this plane, obviously it wasn't too great for either of those hot drops on this side of things. Difficult to get down towards Chumacera anyway, so a lot of teams had to go for something just a little bit different. On the cards here, we do have MBE Sports up towards El Pozo. In the meantime, Gladiators playing towards their preferred drop spot in La Cobreria. They have been trying to switch things up just a little bit recently, moving further down towards this south side outside Hacienda del Patron. Certainly have done their homework though. Not really a possibility here versus Nassau, who are over towards water treatment in the first place. So that would cause them to be running into another team fairly early on. I think for Gladiators, who haven't put up any points since that second game, sorry. Currently on 59. I think they'd want to push this just a little bit higher in these final two matches. I think 80 points is a pretty happy finishing point for any team within this lobby. Currently with Mad Bulls at 89 points total. Also, not the most amazing day for them, but they have put up some good points, right? I think yesterday just sort of overshadows the consistency that we're seeing today from them.
It's been an interesting day for it as well, man, because I think it's made it so hard to really, truly assess the situation. I don't even know by the end of today, Blank, if we'll have the best lay of the land of how things are going to look by the end of survival stage, because any sort of the theory we came into it with initially with, you know, kind of the idea of Group Green being the real big group of death that it was, that had so many top teams in it, translating into survival stage, felt like it kind of wasn't an accurate depiction of day one. Then now we're seeing some of them bubbling up towards the top. We're seeing a good test of some of the other teams now in the lobby for today as well. I think really by the end of tomorrow, you know, as silly as it is to say, is when we're actually going to truly understand just how tight this was, because it's been hard to call the whole way through. We've seen the standings definitely getting shaken the longer it has gone on. It's been a lot of impressive maneuvers from Brazil as a region as well throughout the course of the entirety of the tournament. Here at the minute, Inco, being the sole representative of Brazil inside of this lobby, haven't had the best day of it. Of course, they had to fight tooth and nail. Similar story to Quest, to barely make it here in the first place. I think the more surprising one as well is, you know, as we go deeper down towards the bottom, I'm kind of expecting a bit more from maybe your Ducks, maybe you know, Mega Galaxies as well, but you know, just feel like there could have been a little bit more to be done. We've got one of them fighting here though, as they are going aggro, broken wall combat as they look to try and swoop on in. Bullets from behind the camper van, can't quite close the gap. Switch to the secondary, that one will kneecap, fights through the body as well, backed up by his teammates, and the pressure is on now.
Yeah, FS taking a huge amount of damage there on Hyper, and Duxan, like he said, yeah, really aren't giving up anything whatsoever. They're looking for more. FS will go down, and again, Zifan just has to send away as fast as possible. Hyper's really not been having a good tournament here at all in the survival stage, really struggling on every single drop at the start of the game. First couple of minutes just have been hellish for them. Zifan almost spinning out there on the vehicle as Vinny continues to pepper those shots across, gets a nice headshot, and Hoxie will finish off with one of his own. That's Hyper out with some beautiful gun skill coming through from Hoxie at the end there, and Duxan picks themselves up a juicy 4 points. Again, you were right, Duxan needs to do a little bit more at the bottom of the tables. That's a great start from them here on Miramar, and see them a little bit safer coming into the survival stage. Alter Ego, look, we didn't want to talk about the start today, but you know what? 41 points. It's not too bad, honestly. It's not too bad. They have certainly struggled, but they're struggling against the tide here, trying to get back to the safety of the beaches so they can sit up in those armchairs and just wait for this one comfortably to end without worrying about maybe being pushed out from that top 16. Obviously, only 2 more games to go, though, for Alter Ego. These are some really important matches for them as well, because by no means is 41 points safe at all.
Feels like nothing's a safe threshold anymore, man. It doesn't matter how much of a buffer you've got, Blank. I'd still be a bit scared. You never want to leave it up to someone else, right? So just trying to keep that consistent growth of points, always going. Such a hard task, but something that needs to be done relatively consistently, game in, game out right now. You can see already with the posturing, a lot of these teams earlier on today, even yesterday, especially when there kind of wasn't a level playing field, there wasn't a point where you could see one team pulling ahead. They probably would have gone for a few more of these fights. At the minute, it's a bit more sheepish. Teams sort of fighting to warn off other squads. A lot of defensive gameplay at the minute, kind of turtling, trying to gain control of your lay of the land and force other teams to feel uncomfortable, rather than swooping in, kind of playing that very aggressive, you know, guerrilla strong together mentality of just trying to overwhelm opposition by roaming as a pack, which was working earlier today. On Miramar, in this sort of situation, might not be the best call. One wrong fight could be the difference of you basically leaving yourself with no chances to get points today. For Group Green, that would mean no chances remaining over the course of the survival stage as well. So big pressure, big momentum shift needs to happen. Zone shift, though, is going to cause a bit of a cascade. Everyone wanted to get themselves into the center circle as quick as possible. But look at Mad Bulls, miles away, taking a slow turn on things, wanting to just take their time with a rotate on this.
Yeah, slowing it down massively, and that's fair enough for the Mad Bulls. I think they want to just confirm some more consistent placements here in these final couple of games. They know that they've done a lot already in the lobby to see themselves pretty safe here. Like you said, it's very hard to say what is safe, honestly, at this point in time, because there could be a massive jump up from all 16 teams tomorrow in both Group Yellow and Group Red. But we'll see what happens. For Mad Bulls, I would say that they've done really, really well for both their region as well as themselves, getting themselves fairly decently confirmed towards that last chance. There is still more to be done in those 2 days following, but at least they get a break in between. For some of these other squads at the moment, there is some serious pressure on them. But Miramar, obviously, one of those matches where you really want to keep all 4 players alive towards that end game, and a lot of teams are looking to pick up some central positions early on. Rejects still following that same mentality of picking up that central spot at the beginning of the game. They've done a great job to do it down towards this south side already. This will see them in a good position to pick up some more of those points. Yes, they're not picking up those big chicken dinners, but they are very much definitely in that top 3 a lot of the time now. So, you know, I think they are another team that just felt the pressure from yesterday, weren't able to play comfortably, a little bit fidgety in their seats, but this time they are definitely playing much more how we saw in that Group Green, where they look like a formidable team, let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely a facelift that I think both of us are pretty happy to witness here, looking a lot more like themselves. Interesting game so far. Few skirmishes, few fights just to get the backs up of other opponents. A lot of control of the map here being fought for. Peppered bullets being thrown in the direction of Gladiators now, though, as Tixie and co start to scout out, fan themselves around and look for the information on the rotate with the vehicles. Levi's really hoping for a heavy hit on this. He's got the bullets for it. Man's got 200 rounds in the back pocket, so he's willing to just fire off a few warning shots and keep looking for damage. Here's the overall lay of the land, though, the way things are looking with the map. It's Alter Ego that are barely coming up towards the entry point here as well. That would be Udo Alliance that have to fight through if they head into the zone. And they've got, again, another nice spread. Udo Alliance, I have enjoyed the way they've been playing, Blank, in terms of relying on each other as duos. Feels like they have a lot of faith in their setups where they'll play off each other's contact. And they're probably going to be tested by Melise as well with this. So this actually might be an opportunity to see if their combat skill is looking as drilled as it has been over the course of the day.
Yeah, for Udo Alliance, I think they've had some really, really strong like edge play style where they'll play off one another, and I think that they're cautious enough to actually go for that play style as well, where they won't push out the boat too far a lot of times, which is something that's very rare to see in these edge style teams. I think sometimes it's all or nothing for some of these squads, but these esports certainly have been plagued by that curse a few times so far already. But it's been pleasing to see Udo Alliance being able to really show a masterclass of how to do this one in the survival stage. For some of these teams that are towards that northern side, moving through Monte Nuevo, a little bit open area down towards Chumacera at the moment. Also a bit of a horrid position to play. I think Nigma Galaxy quite happy over towards the north side of Chimusera right now with relative safety, being able to have a good outlook over towards some of these players that are down towards the northern edge on the low ground at the moment. Reject still just holding on to this central position though, and I think for them, again, it's just nice to see them play much more like usual. FaZe, I want to see another big game out of this team, actually. They're quite central as well, currently challenging